You got rid of me, I'm back. And so I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you all for coming here today. It's a testament to Jane's incandescence that so many of us have traveled here to remember and celebrate her life. If I cry at any point today, or seem to, it's because my cardiologist insisted that I cry as often as possible to remove the toxic stuff in me that's screwing up my heart.
Here, here.
If you're wondering why I'm standing up here in a short-sleeved shirt when I said business casual, that's because my business is butterflies. So, I hope you enjoy the food. It's from the places that Jane lived, as I said, and it's food that she liked. Or in some cases made. So in our house, I did most of the cooking, as I say later, but Jane is the person who cooked kasha vanishkis. I never did. There's that. Okay, so we've got. Oh, one other thing I should tell you. Each should have a copy of the latest issue of American Butterflies. That's basically an advertisement to join, although it does have something about Jane in the issue. If you turn over the magazine, I lost the sound. Hello, is it? Am I back? Okay. We're okay. Felix? I don't know. Okay. If you turn over the back of the magazine, if your magazine has, I think on the left bottom, a picture, a sticker with an image of bacteriophage P22 on it, then the centerpiece is yours. Okay. Okay, so for those of you who just are completely oblivious of your surroundings, these centerpieces are meant to resemble bacteriophage P22, which of course you ought to recognize. But to help you, there was a picture of the P22 up there in there, and P22 played a very big role in our lives, and that's why it's there. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to have a number of people tell you their memories or feelings about Jane, and then we're going to have a couple of dance interludes when everyone is expected to dance. I have to hold it the right way or something. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And you're going to talk first? You said you wanted to talk first. What, can you talk from there? Here. Okay. So you have to hold it like this right up to your mouth.
Okay.
Give me that. Oh, you have another one?
I have another one.
Good. So the first person speaking is actually my mother, Bunny Glassberg.
Many years ago, I was in Texas. Can you hear me?
No, that's what's it.
Try it now.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Many years ago, there was a Texas going to school, and he would call home every so often, and he kept mentioning a girl named Jane. And one evening, he called, And he said, oh, she isn't Jewish. And I said, okay. And then he said, and she's divorced. I said, okay. And then he said, she has a child. And I said, okay. And we got to meet Jane, and it was a wonderful experience. We could never have asked for a nicer or a wonderful daughter-in-law than Jane. We really loved her, and we were lucky she was a member of our family.
Okay, next up here is the youngest of 7 sisters. No? Yeah, Val? You're not coming up? Really? Come on, Val. You can do it. Listen, Val, if I can stand up here and talk, you can too.
She's going to come later.
She's going to come later with Beth.
She's going to come later. Okay, so we're gonna improvise here, and actually the next speaker, I think the next speaker was scheduled to be Steve Mento, who is a colleague of Jane's at Letterly Lab. He's now CEO of a small pharmaceutical company himself. Can you hear me? I guess. But he had to leave at 12:45 and it's 12:53. He had to catch a plane, I think, back to California. So, unfortunately, he's not. So then next up is Theresa Vicroy.
Sort of the youngest at heart, right? Most immature.
You can say that because Val speaks, so you can say whatever you want.
I'm Theresa. I'm one of Jane's sisters. And because I'm so young, I didn't get to... because I'm so young, I'll repeat that. I didn't get to grow up with Jane as a child. She had gone to college when I was a small kid. And so I got to know her as an adult. And it was a wonderful, wonderful relationship that we had. We were quite close. We didn't live near each other, but we talked a lot, we visited each other a lot. It was a great, great relationship. And one of her many good traits was her ability to be encouraging to people, to see an actual potential in somebody and encourage it. And I know many of you in the room felt that. She helped me a lot. I started out in medical school at a small, obscure college in Louisiana, medical school in Louisiana. And through her encouragement, she told me, you know what, I think there's better things for you out there. You need to think bigger. And she encouraged not only myself, but our parents. And she talked to some of her academic colleagues and was able to help me arrange to transfer to a medical school that was more challenging and just a broader experience for me. And it made a huge impact in my life. So I'll always be grateful for her for that. And I know that she does that same thing for Jeff and for Matt and Kristen and for the boys. You know, and I'm sure for her colleagues and friends, I've heard a lot about different stories about her friends. You know, director of a museum, helping her with the research, helping her with the butterflies. You know, and she every time says something positive. And it wasn't just in a superficial way or a braggy way. It was real. And I think she encouraged a lot of us in the thing. And so I hope to carry a bit of her with me in that spirit and try and do the same thing for others. And I'm sure that her memory will be one that's encouraging and inspiring for Hunter and Hayden as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Val. And I guess maybe one thing I should say here is there's obviously quite a few people here, something like 90 people or something. A few people couldn't come at the last minute. Things happened to them. But there's different groups of people here. Some of the groups, some people overlap groups, but there's different groups, and so. Maybe I ought to say that. I mean, first there's Jane's family, and you just heard from some family members, and you'll hear from more. Then there's people who have been long term, long-time friends of Jane's. Some of them known Jane longer than I have known Jane. Then there are colleagues of Jane's, business colleagues, especially from the time when she worked at Letterly Labs. And you'll hear from a number of them, one in a second. And Jane's time at Letterly was very important and meaningful to her. So I'm glad so many of them could make it here. Then there are actually, I think perhaps the largest contingent, about 30 people. There's people that are butterflyers and know Jane through the butterfly world. And then there are people that work for NABA and or Jane personally in one role or another, and they're here. So there's all sorts of different people from different parts of Jane's life. At this point, I'd like to ask Mary Ritchey, who worked with Jane at Letterly Labs, to come on up. And one thing I will say, at Letterly, when Jane took the job at Letterly, she was offered actually 3 positions. I mean, like a shearing plow and someplace else. And she took the one at Letterly, and it turned out to be a great decision. Thank you.
Hello. I want to tell you a little bit about Jane and how she came to work for Letterly. I first met her when she interviewed for a position that we had open in a new group that we were forming, some of which was going to do some research on acellular pertussis. We had gotten Jane's name from our network of academic friends, and she came in to interview, and she was really impressive. To me, she's a woman of great courage and great determination. We were very impressed with her credentials and with how she interviewed, and we really wanted her to be part of our group. But we thought, well, it's going to take some nerve for her to do this because we were a new group, we didn't have a lot of resources, didn't have a reputation for being first among the vaccine manufacturers. And in those days, it was relatively rare for a woman with an advanced degree to work in industry, and also for someone to come to what was referred to then, when I joined, as going to the dark side as opposed to staying in academia. Wow. But needless to say, Jane had the courage to join us, and I think most of you in the room are well aware of all the accomplishments that she achieved during her days with Letterly Laboratories. I loved working with Jane because she always kept her composure no matter what was going wrong. She could be counted on to get the job done that she was assigned to do. And she had poise in all the situations. When we were working on acellular pertussis, we were working with our colleagues in Japan, and they had never worked with women in senior positions, but she found a way to manage it and to make sure that everybody did what needed to be done. And her courage, she maintained throughout her career at Letterly. She helped us with business development when we were forming a new business, and Ron Salvini may say more about that, and Frank Hanna may say more about that. But she was just wonderful to work with and to travel with. She always made everybody feel comfortable. I know that her determination and courage started in her personal life because she was responsible for her young child and going to school at the same time and managing everything wonderfully so she could be prepared to do something very meaningful in her career. She cared about everyone and always wanted to make sure everybody was okay. And I'll share one story about her with me. During the years we worked together, I had, during some of those years, my children were small enough to still believe in Santa Claus. And there was one year when one of my children wanted this toy called Petster, and it was kind of an electronic cat or something like that, but it, you know, it was mechanical, and you could tell it to do some things like to walk or to purr something, and it would do it. And my daughter was determined to have this toy. And in those days, of course, we couldn't scour the internet to find things. And so I searched high and low, and all the toy stores I could get to in New Jersey, couldn't find one. Well, Jane took it upon herself to search all the stores in Westchester, and she did find one and bring it to me. So that sort of saved my Christmas that year. So anyway, I have many really good memories of Jane, and even though she's not with us physically anymore, those memories will be with me, and I'm sure that all of you here have many memories of Jane, and my deep sympathies go to all her family and her husband, and it will eventually be okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't remember the story about the Christmas parade. So what we're going to try to do now, and we're going to see how this works. I don't know. I don't think this has ever quite been done like this, so I don't know if it's going to work. But the plan is to have a ballet interlude. And Jane loved the ballet. Okay, and that'll come out later. And so here's what the plan is. In just a second, we're going to play a ballet video. And we're going to invite everybody to come out onto the dance floor and dance ballet. Okay? And I would ask those of you with cell phones who know how to work the video component of them, if you could maybe take some video of this, that would be great. So we're hoping as many of you as you can will do that. And one of the things I'll tell you is, and I don't think anybody else knows this at this point, perhaps, is that, so Jane, you know, she danced ballet, and this will come up in the video we do, but she danced ballet in England and always loved ballet. And when I would play the piano, which I do a lot, poorly, Jane would often, depending on what I was playing, especially if I was playing ballet music, which I did sometimes, Jane would come into the living room and dance freely through the living room, dance ballet, naked. This made it difficult to concentrate on the music, and I sometimes made mistakes. So you might, we're going to try to play this ballet video, and I urge you to keep that image in your mind as an encouragement for you to get out there and dance, okay? So I think what we're going to have to do, rather than start the video, I don't know if someone wants, if people would like to dance, and I really hope you do, because it's a fun thing to try, I would encourage people to wend their way out to the dance floor just before we start the video, because otherwise I think it'll take too long for you to get out there, okay? So we'll give you a minute or two to get out to the dance floor, okay? And then we're going to start the And you can watch, folks, there's going to be, in addition to the audio, there's going to be a video. So you can watch the video so you can quickly learn what kind of moves you should be making out there. Okay? I won't complain if anybody does.
So, will you stop?